Hello my scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. So I started with this pre-made Vicky Bouton paper and I inked the edges with my Mementos ink, but it wasn't enough, so then I got a thin Posca and did 3 lines, and I did each side one at a time, and it's the same technique that I use with these little mini squares as well. I just went 1, 2, 3 up and down on one side, then I turn my page, and 1, 2, 3 up and down, turn my page, 1, 2, 3 up and down, turn my page, 1, 2, 3 up and down. And the reason why I did it that way instead of trying to go all the way around in a full square, and yes, of course that gives me a continuous line, is that I find when I try and go all the way around in a full square, I end up messing up 1 or 2 of the sides because it's not the preferred way that my hand likes to go. And I could stop and start. I could do 1 line, then turn my page, do the next line, then turn my page, do the next line. But then I found when I tried to do my next border on top and my next border on top after that, because I wanted multiple lines to make sort of a scribbly border, I found that I was going over the same line quite often and not having 3 different lines, and it just wasn't working so well. So for me, the technique of going like 1, 2, 3, back and forth like a zigzag up and down all in one go was definitely my preferred method. I found that worked really, really well. And then after I did that, I looked for any spots where the lines had kind of flowed in together and you were losing that feel of having 3 different lines. And that's where I put my little scribble, my little zigzag. Because the lines were so close together, it looked like the perfect place to pop that. I also didn't want to put too many of those little zigzags, so I just stuck with the 3. I did the same technique on these little squares. Sorry for the big massive post-it notes across 2 of those photos. There are some faces from kids from Jack's school. So what I did with this one is I cut my photos down. They're smaller than 3x3 size. Then I put a really, really tiny white mat around my photos, then a slightly larger black mat around my photos. And I'm pretty sure the black mat, like so the full photo with its 2 mats, is 3x3 size. And then the paper behind that, the colored paper behind that, is just a smidge bigger than 3x3. I just wanted that little pop of extra color. So then I am working with these based on their little sort of 2 paper cluster. So I'm taking one of my photo mats and a piece of the paper, putting it a bit off skew so you can see a few little bits of excuse me, a few little bits of the paper sort of shining through from behind, and then I'm just popping a few little embellishments onto the page. Onto the photo cluster really. Keeping it really simple, using really similar stickers to keep those colors the same, because there's a lot going on this page with so many photos, with that busy background, but I really wanted to enhance the color. Because if you're not familiar, what my son is doing here at school is what we call a colour run. And basically it's when, in this case, the grown-ups have bottles, or like little squeezy sauce bottles. You can just see in the middle row on the left-hand side, a little yellow bottle like squirting out powder. That's me. I volunteered to help at school. And you can also see it down in the bottom right-hand corner. And basically what it is it's coloured powder inside that bottle, and when I squeeze it, like the air shoots it out, and we squirt it at the children. It's non-toxic, it washes out, it's fabulous. But we find that if you only use the coloured powder by itself, it kind of just like wears off in the wind. A bit like, if you get powder, like flour on yourself while cooking, if you tap yourself a few times, the flour just comes out by the end of the day. So the kids were also, it was a really hot day, and the kids were also getting squirted with water pistols. And then that made the coloured powder just stick that little bit more to their clothing, which they loved. We intentionally wear white on the day just to help the coloured powder show up just that little bit more. And it's just a really fun activity for the kids to do. In this case, they just ran laps around the oval We had set up a few obstacle courses, like some hoops to jump in and a big gigantic parachute going up and down, and some hurdles and stuff like that. But honestly, it wasn't necessary. Just dodging the parents who were squirting water pistols at you and throwing powder at you was just the most fun. So I usually can't volunteer to help at Jack's school because I have 2 days off, but I'm so often working when things are on. But for once in my life, they held an event on a Thursday and I wasn't working, and he was so excited to have me attend. So it took so much time. I had to be there at 12 o'clock and I was there right until the end of the day, but it was totally worth it just to see how much fun he had, and he just loved having me around, which was awesome. I did wear sunscreen on this day, but I got so burnt on my shoulders. I definitely ran out of time to reapply and should have made that a priority. So I decided that back to the layout, really needed a black title with the black around the edge of the mat and then also the black border. It just wasn't popping when I used the thickers that came in the kit. I did actually try with the thickers from the kit because I loved all the bright colors, but it definitely needed black. I just finished it off with a few little black splatters on top of the gold ones that come with the background, and it is perfect. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process video, and it's just a nice little spin on another way of doing a grid layout. Thanks so much everyone, and I will see you all really soon.